Warning, spoilers ahead. The following is a recap of the movie Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. The first scene of the movie takes us to the past in an old mansion with the initials EB written on it. Inside the big residence, the maid is doing some cleaning when the bell begins to ring. She immediately goes down to the basement and calls for Mr. Blackwood. After hearing no response, she was about to leave when she hears a noise. She goes down the stairs as we see the old man hiding from her. She doesn't see the wire trap. She trips and falls hard and loses consciousness. The old man comes out and brings some tools. He sits on her as she wakes up and tells her that he is sorry and that they made him do it. He must do it to save his son. The maid then sees that his front teeth are missing. He takes out his tools as she starts screaming in horror as he puts the chisel in her mouth and hits it with the hammer to break her teeth. The man puts them in a small plate and he starts hearing his son calling from within the ash pit. He puts the plate inside the ash pit saying he brought them something to eat as we hear animal-like noises. Whispers then tells him they want children's teeth. He cries and tells them to give him back, meaning his son. He hears him calling from the deep and he reaches with his hand. Suddenly a wave of small creatures came up and dragged him down. Next we go back to the present days to see Sally arriving on the plane. She meets with her dad and his girlfriend Kim, who gives her a talking teddy bear as a gift, but the girl seems unhappy. When driving back, Alex notices that Sally is getting some medication. The girl tried to call her mother but she was pushed to the voicemail. Soon they reach their destination, the same mansion that we saw in the beginning of the movie. Once there, they are greeted by Harris, one of the personnel working at the mansion. Kim talks to Sally about her job as an interior designer. She tells the girl that all wildlife paintings in the library are made by Emerson Blackwood, the first owner of the mansion. Alex arrives and takes Sally to her room. The girl then finds out that her mother didn't tell her she will be staying with her dad. She hides in the bathroom and starts crying, asking him if he's going to marry Kim. She then goes back to her room and asks them to leave her alone. Kim asks about the medication that Sally was taking. Alex tells her that his ex-wife used to give medication to their dogs too. After that, we are taken through the vents to the locked ash pit, where we hear whispers saying her name is Sally. The next day, the girl plays in the garden when she hears something calling for her. She wanders off and discovers a strange and creepy sculpture. Then within the bushes she finds a glass roof of a basement. She is found by Harris, who drags her away. Alex and Kim then arrives and the girl tells them that she found a basement, but Harris says that there is no basement in the house. The girl insists and they go to check and found it. Back in the house, Alex finds a part of the wall under the stairs that was hollow. He breaks it with the hammer and they find the basement door. Harris seems very concerned as he watched them opening the door. There they discover Blackwood's painting and the locked ash pit. Harris tells them that it's not safe down here, especially for kids. Sally looks inside the ash pit and she hears something calling her name. Something is moving on the other side. After the tree leaves, we hear the creature whispering and see their tiny faces beyond the grate. Later Sally comes out of her room. She sneaks around and gets some tools and then goes back to the basement. She starts undoing the bolts that holds the steel grates. The creatures whisper to her, telling her to free them. She pokes them with a sharp wire that they pull inside. Alex suddenly comes down and asks her to come up for dinner. She tells her father that she heard some voices. He tries to listen and the creature were about to stab his ear with the wire, but he stood up in time. Sally was about to get her backpack when the creatures unscrewed the last bolt and pushed the grate. The girl looked inside and found teeth. She put them in her backpack and left in a hurry. After refusing to eat her food, Sally is told by her dad to go to her room. The man was then on the phone and didn't notice the creatures roaming around the house. Sally, who was listening to her dad's call with her mother, suddenly hears the door of her room getting closed. She goes inside to check and find that her talking teddy bear is moving. She couldn't see that it was being controlled by the small creatures from behind. She soon is scared scared by the sudden moves and turns the light on. The creatures run away, telling her to turn off the light and that it hurts them. She turns off the lamp and we see the creatures hiding underneath the bed, telling her that they were hungry. Sally goes underneath her bed and her father comes in. He turns on the light. She has to go to sleep and we see that her doll is underneath the bed and her face is disfigured. Alex finds the tooth under the pillow and takes it away. After he is gone, we see that Sally has another one hidden underneath. Next day, Alex and Kim were getting ready to go to a meeting. The man could not find his razor blade. After checking her closet, Kim found that all her dresses were destroyed. Sally was in her room playing with the silver coin she found. Her father comes in, very angry. He accuses her of destroying Kim's dresses. She cries and says it was not her. He asks her about the silver coin she had. She doesn't answer and asks him to let her go home. Alex asks the maid to take care of Sally while they are gone. Sally sits next to the air vent and speaks with the creature who told her to come play with them. The girl then goes down to the basement and brings food with her. She is found by Harris, who tells her to go up while he stays down and tries to close the ash pit. The creatures are angry at him and he tells them he didn't say anything to anyone. They suddenly attack him, stabbing him and cutting him with his tools. They surround him from everywhere while he tries to push them away with his torchlight. Mrs. Underhill, who hears the noise, came down to check and found the man in a critical state. He goes up the stairs and collapses in a main hall before Sally's eyes. After they came back, Alex and Kim found the police, who told them that there was an accident, thinking that Harris had stumbled and fallen. Kim finds Sally hiding in a tree. She calms her down by showing her her favorite place in a garden. There, Sally swears to her, telling her she didn't touch her dresses. The woman believes her. That night, Sally calls her mom, telling her that she wants to come home. Her mother tells her she was very sorry and that she was very busy, and then hangs up. Kim woke up to find the girl sleeping on their bed. She takes her back to her room. Sally asks her to stay with her. After a while, the girl was sleeping. Kim wakes up as we see the creatures running around. After she left, the creatures pushed the lamp over and broke it. Sally woke up and she sees one of the creatures going underneath the sheets. She looks for it and finds it with her torchlight and she starts screaming. The creatures became agitated and start to run away. Alex and Kim come inside the room while the creatures go back inside the air vent. She told them about the creatures and Kim found the teddy bear torn apart. Sally tells them that the creatures did it. The next day, they brought a psychiatric doctor to talk to her. The man asks her questions and she tells him about the creatures and what they say to her. The doctor then tells Alex and Kim that the girl feels that she is not wanted and that was the reason behind her actions. The next day, Sally was left alone with Mrs. Underhill, who prepared her bed. Meanwhile, Kim goes to see Harris in the hospital. She asks him about what happened to him and he tells her that the girl must get out of the house. It turns out that his grandfather, who also worked for the Blackwoods, had sealed the basement. He then tells her to check the lot 1134 in the public library. Back in the house, Sally is going to the bedroom. Inside the vents, the creatures are armed and following her. She goes into the bathtub as the creatures turns off the light and breaks the doorknob. In the public library, Kim is shown unpublished Blackwood collection that seems to be different from all his works and is heavily influenced by folk tales about ancient creatures that claimed human lives as food. They ate the bones and teeth of children, and after a truce, the creatures start leaving silver coins in exchange for teeth. The librarian shows her a drawing of the creature made by Blackwood himself after the disappearance of his son and told her that soon after that he disappeared too. Back in the mansion, Sally is in the darkness. She tries to open the door but couldn't. She is attacked by the creature that tries to stab her legs with broken scissors. She is surrounded and falls inside the bathtub. They climb over the curtains and try to get to her. Mrs. Underhill hears the screaming and comes to help with two other employees. The creatures run away before they broke the door door open and found the girl shaken in fear. Kim arrives. She goes to see Sally but didn't find her in the room. She searches in the basement and discovers a mural made by Blackwood depicting his son getting taken by the creatures. Alex arrives and tells her that she must have run away and they go look for her. Kim tells him about what she learned about the house and says that they must leave. The man says that he has all his money put in this project and can't leave because of a fairy tale. Soon they found the girl walking on the side of the road and took her back home. That night, they were hosting a dinner party. Kim finds a razor blade in Sally's room. The girl says she needs it to find the creature. The woman refuses to let her keep it and gives her an old camera to ward them off since they hate the light. Kim then finds a drawing of the creature that looked identical to what Blackwood was drawing made by the girl. Guests start arriving and Sally goes around taking pictures. She finds a creature and takes a picture of it. Upstairs, Kim shows the drawing to Alex, who still doesn't believe what she says. Kim prepares the bags to leave. Sally tries to show her dad the picture of the creature, but he says he doesn't have time. Dinner was served and Alex gave a speech. Meanwhile, Sally is fighting with the creatures under the table who took her photo and destroyed it. The girl followed them to the library and there they locked her inside. They start attacking her and she keeps using the flashlight to push them away. She screams and asks them what they want from her, to which they answered, "We want you." They keep attacking her and they take her camera away, but she uses the sliding shelves to kill one of them. Alex breaks the door and they find the library in chaos. The man tells the guests that the party is over and he tells Kim to get ready to leave. He closes the basement door with the key and goes to get the car. After opening the garage door, it starts to close on its own. The man looks for the remote controller and the creatures wrap a rope around his feet and make him trip. He falls and hits his head and passes out. The creatures then destroy the electric panel, plunging the house in darkness. Kim goes down the stairs to see what was going on and trips on a wire trap. She falls and hits her head. She sees the creatures approaching her, saying that a life must be taken. The creature then tells the woman that they want the child's teeth. Sally wakes up and walks in the darkness with her camera in hand. The creatures are everywhere. After finding Kim, she tries to wake her up, but the woman has passed out. The girl is then surrounded. In the garage, the creatures took the key from Alex's pocket. After that, they drag Sally to the basement. Alex wakes up and fights with the creature to get out of the garage. Meanwhile, Kim gets up and tries to cut the rope. Alex gets inside the house, but the creatures lock him out. Kim manages to free Sally, but the rope is now wrapped around her leg. She is dragged with force into the ash pit. Sally cries and smashes the creature with the torchlight. Alex finally arrives to see Kim getting dragged in the depth of the ash pit. The man screams her name in terror, but it is too late. After time has passed on the event, we see Alex and his daughter coming back to the mansion. They go inside but not too far, and the girl puts a drawing she made of her and Kim on the floor and they leave. The basement door then opens and a gust of air pulls the drawing down the basement onto the locked ash pit. It is suddenly pulled inside and we hear the voices of the creatures, scared to be found and hurt, and then the voice of Kim telling them to go deeper and hide and wait until others come. That was the end of the movie Don't Be Afraid of the Dark by Guillermo del Toro. Thank you for watching, subscribe, and see you next time. Bye bye.